What's up guys, this is Coach Ray and today we're going to talk about does lifting big weights matter in arm wrestling. So right before we start, if you like the video, please leave a like, it would mean a lot to me, and please leave a comment. What are your thoughts on this subject? Does lifting big weights matter, and do you agree or disagree with things that I'm going to talk about in this video? So first of all, arm wrestling isn't lifting sport, it's arm wrestling. The most important thing about arm wrestling is, can you win your opponent? It really doesn't matter how much weight you can move in one or the other exercise. The only thing that matters is, can you pin your opponent? Gym training and weightlifting and everything else comes as accessory. It should help you get better. But not every time people are understanding what they're doing, and it's not even helping them get better. They basically staying the same. I will get in this a little bit deeper, a little bit later. So there are no optimal way to test and compare arm wrestlers. We can test guys who have similar technique, like really similar technique. Basically, they're doing the same thing on table. So let's say both of these guys are top rollers. So we can find out where's their back pressure on. But it doesn't take an account like what's the guy doing with rotation, where's his body, and all these other things. Mazurenko and Paul are doing these tests, and it's interesting to see, but again, this is not optimal way to find out who is the strongest. We can find out who's the strongest on this lift, and it's kind of interesting. So guys are looking at this lift and thinking like, if I get better at this will help me be better on table. And sometimes it works, but mostly it doesn't. Arm wrestling is really complicated. There are a lot of things happening on table. Each arm is different, each technique is different, each athlete brings something completely different to the table. So right now we don't have technology to test for everything that's going on table. So how am I rotating my arm? Where am I flexing my arm? Where am I pulling? Where's my body? All these things are needed to be taken in account so we can find like average measure for the power. Right now we can just test on table like who is better, and that's the only optimal way to test for arm wrestling. Weights are accessories to help us get better. When I'm saying it helps us get better, again, it only works if you're activating the same things that you're doing on table with exercises. The most classic thing guys are doing is bicep curls and thinking this is arm wrestling exercise. They're doing bicep curls. If you can bring it to table, catch your opponent in this position and then pull him back on your bicep, hell yeah, it works for you. Most of the guys are doing completely different thing and they're thinking that these bicep curls can help you. I'm not saying there are bad exercises. Different exercises can help you develop different things. So let's take an exercise. Let's say side press. I can do 100 kilos, my friend can do 80 kilos, but he can beat me on table. Does my side press matter? Answer is kinda. If my technique involves side press, then yeah. Because maybe my wrist is just too weak or rotation isn't working, but then it's helping. If my technique mostly is back pressure, then it doesn't matter. And let's look the other way around. So I can do 100, he can do 80, I can beat him. Does it matter? Again, kinda. It really depends on his style. If his key to beating me is not side press, it's more back pressure, more wrist work, this is where he needs to improve, because guys are thinking like he can do more in this lift, so I should be doing the same weights and basically try to match him up, then I can beat him. They get the same level, nothing changed, because they're not using those things on table. That's the most important part. I know some people are already like, no, this is bullshit, and clicking dislike button, but it really is what can you do on table. How you can activate those big lifts on table. I always see so many guys doing so crazy lifts, and I have trained and arm wrestled with these guys, and they're not as strong. I've seen guys are doing specific things for their technique, and they're stronger than anyone else. The most important part is, can you activate all those muscles that you're using in these heavy lifts on table? So if your style is back pressure and you're training that this movement is weaker than your opponent's, improving here will help you. So you improve on this and you feel you're getting stronger. But again, one more thing comes into play. Limitations. So I will tell a little story. A few years back in Latvia, we started having these competitions where you bench press 50 kilos for as many reps as possible, as long as you want. So basically non-stop motion. I remember on first events results were 80 reps, then 100. In about 2 months, I remember I came to competition, I did 120 reps. That stood there for 3 weeks, and then one guy broke it and he did 150. And I remember it's like we're sitting there and guys are doing 80 reps and 100 reps, and like, how can I beat 150? It's like crazy. It's impossible. Let's skip 2 years ahead. The guy comes in. He has background in rowing. He's close to 60 years old. He has no limit. In training, he does 2 minutes of 50 reps. He said, I can bench 200 reps. Easy. He goes in and he does 200 reps. He breaks the record by 50 reps. Let's skip forward again 2 months. I meet with my friend and he says, I will beat this record. I will try to do 300. I said, damn, that's crazy. And he did close to 250. But his limits were much higher. So this is what we're talking about. When someone asking me, so how much I'm doing in this specific lift, they're putting limits in their brain. They want to do the same weight. Go higher. Always dream higher. But again, all these lifts doesn't matter if you cannot activate the muscles that you want on table. Sometimes form isn't important. I will say it right now. Form, not all the time form is important. What is important is, can you do it on table? Can you bring this power that you're using in this exercise on table? That's the most important part. My summary of all of this is lifts should be accessories. It should compensate, it should give you advantage to win, to increase what you already have. It shouldn't be doing some exercises for no reason if you cannot apply it on table. If your style doesn't involve hook, you don't need that much of bicep training. You just need some. If you're beating everyone with rotation already, you should focus on some other aspects where you might be losing. So this is most important part about arm wrestling. It's not about lifting weights. Big weights doesn't matter. We have seen from time to time the guys that can do big lifts. That doesn't necessarily mean they're stronger on table. Arm wrestling is very complicated. And just my advice is, don't waste time doing things that doesn't work for you. Just look critically at what you're doing. Your technique is evolving, you're getting stronger at some points, but you're losing at others. Work where you're weakest. And just make sure you're doing things that you need when it's go time. When it's what we call off season and you're in the middle of everything, experiment. Do different exercises. Basically make your body stronger. But when it comes to competition time, guys are doing some ridiculous exercises for no reason that will not help them and benefit in any way. I hope this video helps you optimize your arm wrestling training. If you have a chance to support this channel, check out patreon.com. Link is in the description. I would really appreciate it. It would help me a lot.